Well, this is a bad day for Rachel Zegler, the upcoming star of Disney's Snow White remake. Though this video isn't so much about Snow White, but we are going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to take a look at the box office predictions for her upcoming Hunger Games movie. And they're not very good. They're very low, in fact. But let's start here. Some people are actually a little worried that South Park is going to take its sights and put it right on that Snow White movie. And if you remember what happened with Harry and Meghan, they have some legitimacy behind their concerns, because the privacy tour that happened did tremendous damage to Harry and Meghan. I don't know how much is still being felt from that, but they definitely had short-term problems from that episode. It really did knock down their likability ratings with a lot of people in America. So I'm wondering what's going to happen when this episode drops. Because if they do mention Zegler and Snow White, it's going to be a problem for Disney. Because South Park, if they do it effectively, it actually does change people's minds on things, because they're so smart in how they do a lot of their shit. So I'm curious to how this is going to play out. I can't wait for this episode to drop, or special, or whatever they're calling it, little mini movie. I'm really excited for it. I think you're going to see a lot of woke people get upset. And given their history, they'll probably roast both sides. But it's the fact that these people don't like it when you make fun of them at all. They have meltdowns. They'll call for your death, want to destroy your life, everything. That's how they take jokes. So here's some of the reactions. They've captured a few of them in this article, and I thought this one was funny. This guy said, they do wrote, but I'm not going to pull the name up. It says, "Don't see why it needs to be made fun of, since there's objectively nothing wrong with it." Talking about Snow White, by the way, which is funny because the PC principal in the preview, when Kyle asks, how does this even make sense? Of course, pointing out to the new Cartman there to his left. The PC principal says, I think it makes perfect sense. I think you're the problem. So it's going to be funny when this drops. I cannot wait. But now let's take a look at the long range and opening weekend predictions for the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds. So this is the next movie coming up for Zegler. This is her next project. And I got to tell you, the numbers are not good. Here are the pros. The Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, is aiming to bring back faithful fans of its source material and the 4 blockbuster films released between 2012 and 2015. Collectively, they earned $1.45 billion at the domestic box office. A strong ensemble cast and the return of director Francis Lawrence are also notable factors. Cons. Social metrics for Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes are far below those of its franchise predecessors and more comparable to the recent Fantastic Beasts sequels in the Harry Potter universe. This is reflective of an overall decline in the former heat created by young adult learning films 1 decade ago. Moreover, Jennifer Lawrence's rise to stardom during the film's franchise original release was obviously not a factor here. Franchise prequels rarely drum up the same excitement as what's come before. Competition for the target female audience will be considerable, with the Marvels opening 1 week earlier, Trolls band together bowing on the same week, and Disney's Wish 5 days later. Oh, I didn't even know. That's interesting. So Disney's going to release, why do they do this? This is what's funny. So Disney Wish is another Disney movie other than the Marvels that's coming out, and they're going to release that like 2 weeks after the Marvels. Why? Why wouldn't you release that in December or something? No, let's release it right up against our own movie. Idiots. So the Marvels does have a little bit of competition. A race to the bottom. I don't know how this movie is going to do, but the prediction speaks for itself. I don't know if a lot of people are going to go see this. It is a prequel to the Hunger Games movies. One of the things that it doesn't have is Jennifer Lawrence, who did help push those movies up. As much as you might make fun of her today, I don't remember her saying too many stupid things back then. She was hot and during the time of these movies. Like, her star power was only rising with the release of these 4 movies. And, I mean, look at the box office for them. The opening weekends, 152, 158, 121, 102 million. These movies made a lot of money. That's not going to be the case for the Ballad of Songbirds, which is being predicted to open with $35 to $45 million, with a long-term projection of 90 to 142 million. That's embarrassing. This will be another box office disaster for Rachel Zegler. That's what's funny about this. This will be like her 3rd flop she's been in. She was in West Side Story, flop. She was in Shazam 2, flop. Now she'll be in Hunger Games, the prequel, flop. Then she'll be in Snow White, flop. How many flops is she going to be in before Hollywood figures out that she's cancerous? She's actually worse, I think, than Brie Larson. The way that she gives interviews, like, she needs major PR behind her to teach her on what to say and what not to say. Brie Larson's been trying to rebrand herself a little bit. We'll see if that sticks when the strike comes up and she can actually talk about Captain Marvel. But as of right now, I would say and argue that Rachel Zegler is a lot more unlikable than Brie Larson. Ziegler's weird. And when she was calling the prince a stalker and dunking on Snow White and calling the old one a piece of shit, like, people don't like that. And it's a shame. She's not allowed to come out and promote the Hunger Games. There'd be so much material right now to use with this movie. But unfortunately, we don't have it. That's actually a good thing for this movie. Imagine if she would be doing the interview rounds right now. Imagine the shit she would be saying about this movie and the soapbox she would be standing on. Oh, man, it would be hilarious. But it doesn't have that. If anything, that's a plus for the movie. But this is embarrassing. Look at that opening weekend and compare it to these opening weekends, which are, like, that's blockbuster opening weekend. And this is like 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. If these came out today with inflation, these numbers would be much, much higher. So, I mean, it's embarrassing for Rachel Zegler. I don't see any excitement for this prequel movie. Does anybody want that? Anybody ask for a prequel to the Hunger Games? So, fun times a-coming. Maybe after this flops and Snow White flops, they'll send her back to the theater or back to Starbucks or whatever. I don't know what she did before she started doing Hollywood movies, but she'll no longer be around to annoy the people of the world. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and Locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.